Alright, welcome to the video. I'm going to show you how to, I'm probably not going to show you much. I'm going to tell you about some hunter skills here, because some people just don't really get it sometimes, but this isn't really going to be an in-depth video anyway. I'm just going to kind of give you the gist on the character's skills and what kind of gameplay you can expect, stuff like that, and then you can kind of decide what you want to do, because that's what I'm about. It's helping you decide on your own. Alright, so obviously I've been playing as the Siren's the only character that I've got really low right now, and I've been going through this. It's called the Brawl tree. Skull, Salt, Fist of the Elements, Brawl. I guess I can just go through them. So the Siren starts out with her three. She can choose between her three phase abilities or whatever. And then you actually find, like, if you put enough points into one tree, you'll unlock like a whole new skill that you can use. So like this one says it locks somebody in, and yeah, it does that. And then this one grabs somebody, but then more hands start popping up and smashing people. Let me see here. Say this one seems to be a bit more elemental damage based. Yeah, so this tree is kind of crowd control-y, the Fist of the Elements. This one might actually be really good. There's a whole bunch of different skills you can unlock, and then the ones shaped like this are called augments. They kind of change the way some of your skills behave. So like it says, a singularity. This makes it do less damage, but whenever you activate it, it would like suck people in. I felt like this was more of the survivability, but it also kind of came out as like a melee type build. Normally when I'm looking at these trees, I look at the skill at the bottom and try and decide if that's something that's going to help me. But in Borderlands 3, it seems like they didn't make the final skill as overpowered as it was in Borderlands 2. You really kind of got to combine stuff with the rest of your skills throughout your tree. And I guess it gives you a subtitle at the bottom there. So Brawl. All of hers are kind of melee oriented. Mystical Assault's more of attacking enemies at a range, and it looks more like weapon oriented as opposed to this one's more elemental damage and crowd control-y. This tree might actually be really good, especially with this lifesteal on elemental damage. Like, what the hell? you're constantly doing damage, so you're just constantly healing. That could be pretty cool. The build I've gone with is basically the lower your health, the quicker your health recharges. And then I'm about to get a ranged melee attack, so that'll be really cool. So that's the gist for the Siren. You've got a melee-oriented survival tree. You've got a gun-oriented ranged type tree. And then you've got the kind of crowd control tree. Now I'll switch over to... Okay, so on the Beastmaster here, hush, kitty. You need to stay inside. Okay, so on the Beastmaster here, the Stalker tree was definitely kind of the survivability tree. It's got all this stuff based on either getting revived by your pet or regenerating health. You can even give some health regeneration to your teammates, I think. Yeah. So yeah, this one's mostly the survivability tree. Once you max it out though, it looks like you can get your damage increased quite a bit just by using your ability. And actually, if you combine that with the freaking cloak ability, you probably have a massive amount of damage. But it has a really long cooldown as opposed to the 30-second one. I like using the Gamma Burst. So on the Beastmaster, you can use any 3 of his active skills, and you can use any 3 of his pets. But depending on which tree you're upgrading, say if you want, I like this Skag pet and using the Gamma Burst pretty well, but and then this upgrade here that gives him a Dara. But I wouldn't be able to use the pet upgrades if I were using this pet. So let's see, health regen, elemental damage. So health regen is not bad, but I don't know, I'd say the pet upgrades aren't really as useful as the augments are, because you can use 2 of the augments, and this one doesn't say that it has to use the pet. So it really doesn't matter which pet you use, you just won't be able to get an extra bonus. You see how the first version of the pet always gives you that bonus, say 5% movement speed on that one, and then this one gives you 10% health also, or this one gives you critical hit damage on top of that movement speed. But all these abilities don't discriminate. So yeah, you can pretty much use whichever pet you want. I kind of like the Skag tree anyway, so using the freaking horn Skag actually gives him horns, pretty cool. And so this Master tree, Hunter tree, Stalker tree. So yeah, the Stalker tree was the survivability tree. Master seems to be about kind of inflicting enemies with confusion or whatever. They kind of fight for you for a little bit on top of you and your pet healing each other. Yeah. But yeah, this skill would be pretty powerful. Dominance. And then Hunter, I'm pretty sure, is more about. So it looks like critical hits and kill skills. There's your cooldown there. Oh, that's cool right there. I might have to check that out. Hunter skills, what does it mean? Hunter skills. Okay, what the hell? Alright, so this tree actually seems really good. It has a lot of bonuses. For a long time. Damn, dude. This seems like a pretty powerful tree, to be honest. You start getting a few kills and your freaking guy just gets Ruger boosted. This one's more about just survivability in general. And this one's more about kind of taming the battlefield. So yeah, I guess we pause the video on any of those parts. Okay, so here on the operative, you can actually use 2 abilities, and if you use 2 abilities, you can't throw a grenade, but one of the trees actually still uses grenades, like your clone can use grenades, let's say. So one of the abilities for the operative is you can have a stationary kind of hologram of himself that actually shoots people. Is pretty cool. And then he's also got like a flying drone that flies around and shoots people, and he can kind of summon a shield, and so he's got like a defensive survivability build, and then he's got kind of a build to focus more on really just doing a lot of damage and upgrading his clone. And then you got it's called Hit. One seems really powerful too. Basically, you get all these kill skills activated, and he becomes a freaking super soldier. But then the final skill is this seems really good to me. Like just activating one of your abilities causes all of your skills that only happen when you kill people activate. And then you just become a super soldier all the time, pretty much. So this guy actually seems pretty powerful, and then each one of his abilities, you can have 2 of these augments, which you unlock 5 of them in every tree. That's pretty good. This shield tree, I'll try and go through here kind of slow enough so you guys can pause on each of the abilities, but the shield about protecting yourself and your teammates, but there's a lot of abilities in here that have to do with like freezing people, dealing damage to frozen people, giving you bonuses. And then yeah, just become this is a powerful tree in my opinion. It's a strong tree, man. You don't want to mess with that tree. Okay. And so the clone, I'd probably clone. The clone gets some pretty powerful abilities. This is mainly about building up your own damage, and your clone can even start throwing grenades. Like, I'm pretty sure that'll work even if you don't have a grenade. Like, as long as you have a grenade mod equipped, he's just gonna start chucking grenades like he don't even care. And then this one seems pretty powerful. Like, you actually have an ammo stock of grenades, so if you're not even using your grenades and you summon this super powered freaking clone, that's awesome. Wouldn't worry too much about dealing shock damage. But then he gets a copy of your weapon. Say you have a legendary weapon and you're just like, time. Shit gets crazy, man. And then his sentinel drone is all about kind of buffing him up, yeah, with the kill skills. I was saying you can start draining people's life. You can start freaking, running around really fast, reloading really fast, shooting really fast. Your drone starts dropping grenades too. And then all that shit just pops when you use your clone too, dude. Just, man, that's a powerful ass build. So yeah, Zane, to be honest, he seems like he's got powerful abilities. Alright, so here on the Gunner class, I missed the part where it explained to me how long the cooldown on the actual mech thing was, but other than that, you've got 3 different weapons you can choose from, or you can just equip, so you can only equip 2 of them at a time, but you can choose between 3 of them. I just kind of like equipping 2 miniguns, that's my thing. And then this tree, her, how to explain this? So the gunner, each of her trees, once you get to a certain point, you actually unlock another weapon. So she actually has about 6 different weapons she can choose from. That's pretty cool. And then each of those gets 3 little augments, but you can only equip 1 to each weapon. So what I was thinking, I'd probably use just the overheating miniguns and just annihilate doing that. So this tree, the green tree, yeah, see there's a skill where if you equip 2 of the same weapons it'll increase the damage they deal. That's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah, this tree is all about increasing your ammo regeneration, your magazine size, do a little bit of incendiary damage, and just a lot of ammo. This tree, I was thinking was pretty powerful. It increases the amount of time you can use your mech, increases the freaking survivability of your character. Oh yeah, there's a lot to deal with doing splash damage, I think. Yeah, so some crowd control in there. Shield of Retribution tree. This is all about protecting yourself through her shields. You can basically put a portion of your health into her shield so that the shield just lasts long as hell, and then you have a lot of skills to increase the regeneration of it. So, kind of another survivability tree, but I feel like you get a lot of abilities to increase your damage and stuff. Like there's this one that doesn't even have a maximum stack limit that increases your damage based on how many kills you have. That's pretty ridiculous. So yes, this character is also really powerful. The gunner and the operative, they're just straight up powerful. The Beastmaster requires some well-placed skills, and the Siren, um, just requires good items, man. Good equipment. So yeah, essentially, each character has at least 3 skills to choose from. Some of them have more to choose from, either as you put more points into a specific. Um, you can tell it's actually a new skill when the box looks like this. It's got the 6 sides or whatever, and then you can tell it's an augment. Like it changes what the skill's gonna do a little bit. Um, if it's kind of this like down arrow kind of rank looking symbol. The Beastmaster has another one, and I think the Siren has another one to change what element she's using. The Beastmaster's just his pet, changes his pet. But yeah, I hope you got enough time to pause the video on some of those skills to read through them and figure out your own builds. For the most part, each character either has a build that focuses on survivability, through health regeneration, or just being revived, without actually needing to be revived by a teammate or something, or having to kill somebody. Uh, and then another tree that just focuses mainly on your damage output, how much damage you deal, how quickly you can defeat the enemy, all that fun stuff. So the main difference is when you're fighting just a whole group of idiots as opposed to when you're fighting like one boss enemy. Sometimes it makes a difference. You have skills set up for one situation as opposed to every situation, and that can make the game difficult. So make it the way you want it, man. I'm out.